Hi, I'm Tony Constantine, an investment advisor representative with LifeMark Securities Corp. As a reminder, the views that I share with you here on these videos are mine and do not necessarily reflect the views of LifeMark Securities Corp. Today, I've got three things that I want to share with you. The first is cybersecurity. If you're watching here on YouTube, I would it would be my guess that you're relatively computer savvy and that you should be aware of the cybersecurity issues and that you need to be very, very careful about what you do with your computer, what emails and text messages and things that you open. And this could be on any device that you own, including your phone. There are ways that they can get into all your devices through your phone or through your computer. And that's a situation that you want to avoid. There's some very bad actors out there who will steal everything they can get from you, including your money in your bank accounts and things like that. The second thing I wanted to mention is the fact that you have to be as careful with your own brain as you are with the information on your computer. If you let garbage into your brain, you're going to get garbage out of your brain. I've seen it time after time. I was fortunate enough to take some courses in college that taught me how to think critically. I learned a number of things, not only critical thinking, but how the opposition works. And they're going to use fear tactics and every kind of trick you can and even can't think of. They're very bad characters, and you have to avoid them and watch what goes in, especially through the media. I mean, I found out in 2016 that we've got people in the media who think they can interpret what a politician says better than I can. For my money, that doesn't wash. Form your own opinions. Don't let them form up your opinions for you, because then you're just a parrot. And I parrot nobody but me. And hopefully you don't either. The third thing I wanted to talk about was the tariffs. We have a president who promised he was going to balance our trade, get us better deals because we've been taken advantage of for years. Historically speaking, since World War II, the end of World War II, 80 years ago, we have rebuilt Great Britain, France, Italy, and Germany. And in return, we've gotten bad trade deals. We've been taken advantage of. We've been gagged up on and pushed into a corner by every country in the world because they thought that they could all get together and stop us somehow. However, our current president, the first one that we've had in a while, who has the courage to stand up to the world, figured out that we've been getting a raw deal for the past 80 years, and enough is enough. It's got to end. And that's what he's doing. And what we're finding out is that everybody, friend and foe alike, wants to come here and cut a deal with Mr. Trump, our disruptor in charge, our disruptor in chief, whatever you want to call him. He's the guy who wrote the book, or hired the ghostwriter to write the book anyway, The Art of the Deal. And that's what he's working on. Unfortunately, we have some people in Congress who think that, well, maybe Congress should get involved in that because they should ratify all the trade deals and things like that. My answer to that is, where the heck have you been for the past 80 years? Sitting on your hands in Washington? Well, just stay there, and when he brings the deals to you, just ratify them and be on your way. We don't need you getting in there to screw things up. You don't seem to have the same big picture he does. He has surrounded himself with people who do see his big picture and are ready, willing, and able to help him to implement his plans. So just leave him be. He's our president. We elected him, and we'll get through this. Now, predictably, when he started talking about tariffs, and he announced them, the wolves of Wall Street, excuse my language, I know I'm one of them too because I'm an investment advisor representative, but my viewpoint is a little bit different from many of theirs. Of course, they talked about inflation and recessions and all these fear-mongering things. Now, remember, when people panic, they sell. When they sell, they pay a commission. When the other side of the sale buys, they pay a commission. So they're making two commissions. I think the fear-mongering might have had something to do with getting a payday next week or next month. Don't you? So I don't put too much thought or fear into, there's going to be some, inflation going on. Yeah, probably. Don't worry about it. He's bringing more companies into the country. He's already got deals from foreign nations to invest in the United States, putting up factories here to build things, to manufacture things. That's a good thing. Good, paying production jobs. Okay, that's another thing that campaign promise that he made during the campaign, and he's keeping it, isn't he? How about that? No wonder the Democrats are so out of sorts with him. They don't know how to combat him because they have no answers to what he's doing. They have nothing better in mind. So they're going to complain and try to horn in. But we don't want that to happen, do we? I didn't think so. Anyway, with regard to the turmoil in the market, my younger brother, complained to me last week, or a couple of days ago anyway, that the market went down. I said, well, that's predictable. You knew that was going to happen. I said, what? How much did you lose? He says, well, I didn't lose anything. I says, oh, you didn't sell? He says, no. I says, well, that's good. You learned the lesson. He said, what do you mean? I says, well, the theory to making money in the market, the big secret of Wall Street, is buy low and sell high. Okay? The market had been high, higher than it probably should have been, but it was high, so why sell then? He says, so what are you saying to do? Well, hang on, it'll come back. Because, the market goes up one day and down the next, or down one day and up the next. So it's not going to be too many more days before it comes back. So don't worry about it. Just hang in there. You heard Trump say we're going into the golden age of America. So you voted for him, so believe it. Don't worry about it. You see, part of the problem is that we've had steel dumped in our country. Back in the early 1980s, I was in the scrap business, and Germany, Japan, everybody was dumping steel in the United States. Some of it was good quality steel. Some of it wasn't such good quality steel. But it was getting dumped here anyway. And even the good quality steel had subsidies from their governments. Now, I'm not going to mention names, but Germany was one of them. That subsidized the steel coming in, so it was manufactured, shipped all the way here, delivered here, and it was cheaper than we could produce it and ship it. That doesn't sound fair to me. Does that sound fair to you? I didn't think so. So we have to rebalance our trade because we've got too many dollars going out of the country and not enough money coming into the country. We can't go on like that forever, and we've got a $36 trillion debt that we want to get rid of, which Trump addressed, and he said these tariffs are going to help that. So, okay, let's see what he does. He's been keeping his campaign promises so far, so, okay. I'm satisfied. Let's see what he can do. It's not going to get much worse, can it? 36 trillion in debt. It's a lot of money, Jack. So let's let him have his head and go, and let's keep the intervention from the domestic opponents out of the mix because they don't belong in there. So. Granted, the monetary and economic order is being disrupted. This all disrupted the international order, geopolitical and monetary and all that. And it's the Democrats are actually running around mindless. They're beside themselves with worry how they ever going to compete with him for 2028 or anybody else in the Republican Party for 2028, depending, of course, on who that might be. And we completely rejected the Democratic agenda in 2024. So they've got no place to go other than up in flames. The world has no place to go other than Washington, D.C. to see what kind of a deal they can cut. And as far as I can tell, Trump's in the driver's seat. Let's let him go. He seems to be doing exactly what he said to do, or that he would do. So, well, that's about it for today. So I'm going to suggest to you that you hang in there, keep working hard, start thinking, think deeply. When you listen to anybody talk, when you read things, be careful with your computers and don't open messages or texts from anybody that you don't know. It's a very bad thing to do. So other than that, come back next week for our next exciting adventure in investing. Until then, make every day a great day.